Kambas have been circumcising since time immemorial. And when white people came here, probably they gave us the impression that, there's a primitive. You know what? Experts in medicine have told us that indeed circumcision of boys is very good, because they have told us that circumcision of boys reduces the incidence of sexually transmitted diseases. So, whereas the Kamba should abandon, hunting, they should abandon witchcraft, they should tell people that circumcision is very good. In fact, as we talk today, doctors are telling people, including communities that never circumcised. I can tell you, as we talk here tonight, some of the communities in Kenya that don't have traditional circumcised are now circumcising because it makes a lot of scientific sense to circumcise boys. On and on and on and on. So indeed, the aspects, what we need to do is to go through some kind of checklist and say, hunting is harmful, killing animals is harmful, etc. is harmful, but there's nothing harmful about people speaking Kikamba. There's nothing harmful about somebody called Wikali or being called Kyoko. On and on and on. So when I say I support culture, you can't support culture 100%. There are certain minors, there are certain aspects you must subtract. That we have to do away with witchcraft. We have to do away with the hunting. We have to do away with some cultural attitudes where if you do very well, somebody then might threaten to kill your children. Those are harmful practices. But I can tell you that the overwhelming majority of aspects of Kamba culture are positive and we need to promote them.
Over the years now, clitorindectomy has been described as female genital mutilation. And we have embraced the practice of condemning it. All right? So we have not precisely abandoned our culture. We have only changed. And the change is inevitable. Every generation writes its own culture, or designs its own culture. That's what has happened.
I find it very difficult to say this is primitive, but all cultures of the world, whether British, Japanese, or what, there are things that they think, that one, we don't need it at the moment.
Women in Kikamba, they are not allowed to eat tank. That is discrimination, so we can do away with that.
For example, the way we dressed traditionally, you don't need to dress like that.
Today, who goes to a shrine? Nobody. And for that reason, we can dispense with to wash at a tree, to offer a god at a tree, a shrine.
The Kambas and the Thrakas, are very good at shooting arrows. They are very, very good. But you know what? You really don't want to kill animals. You don't want to kill animals. So then I would say part of the traditional Kamba culture is hunting. They're very, very good shooters. But today we need to discard that. Say you don't take your arrows and bows and go and kill elephants, go and kill buffaloes, go and kill antelopes, etc., etc. We discard that.
There were rituals that would be undertaken that would include alcohol, sometimes milk, and sometimes a pouring of blood. And the pouring of blood, many times that is sacrifice. And so there are some of those that I would not practice. And I would not encourage my children to practice. But I would not throw them away. I would want them documented. I would want them archived somewhere where it would show. And it's not a part of the culture. I would want to judge those who are practicing. But as a Christian, I would evangelize them and see whether they would change from it. But it does serve a purpose in the life, in the wellness, in the psychological, mental health part of the human being. Because I have offended my ancestors, I have offended God, I have offended people, and I am making amends. And once I have made amends, I have peace. I've restored cognitive peace in my mind. I no longer have dissonance. So there are those practices, sacrifices particularly, that I wouldn't practice, but I would want them documented. I would say even some of the embarrassing ones, I would want them documented because they existed, and people grow and evolve. And the fact that you are not practicing it now does not make it bad.
The houses we lived in, if it was grass and thatched, we don't have to go into that.
Circumcision rights for the girl child, is it necessary? It is not necessary.
It's harmful. So if there's a community that is dealing with FGM, then we need to discard that.
All cultures keep on changing, but you have culture as your base to build a house to accommodate your cultural values. That is what is very important.
I'm alive today because of my name. Yeah? Three of my elder brothers who were born died when they were being born at Kikambuan, around Kikambuan. So now when I was being born, my family, my father and mother, did consultation, and they were told the only way that this young person you are going to give birth to is going to survive is, number one, don't give birth to the same place where you were giving birth. Get out of the house and go and give birth somewhere else, and give this young person a very bad name. That's why I was called Muatine. So that now the gods out there will not be attracted to me.
The spirits.
And that is the gods out there. And that's why I'm alive today. Now, I can't ignore that. That I have been told. And what basis do I have to say that is not correct? I don't have.
We are killing our own language and blaming colonialism. Colonialism is 60 years dead. And nobody is here is telling anybody you can't do things the way you find them convenient.
My name is Kithaka Mberia. Kithaka is not my original name. I got the name Kithaka from the family tradition doctor because there were so many herbs. I used to be so sickly when I was young, and there were so many herbs in my mother's heart. So then I changed from my original name to become Kithaka, you know. So I have so much respect for herbalists. I have so much respect for diviners. Diviner, why diviner? Because in Kithaka, before you went to war, you have to be blessed by the diviner. Sometimes before people are circumcised, to make sure that the operation goes on well, you are blessed. But so then we should be careful not to mix things. That a witch and a herbalist stroke diviner are totally different things. Those are perfect. We need to maintain that.
Origin, primitive means nearer the origin. And if the origin is God, then primitive means nearer God. So it is good.
Civilization has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with culture. One can say in anthropological talk that every community has its civilization. One can talk about African civilization, European civilization, Chinese civilization, Indian civilization. That is what it is. So that has nothing to do with the one is, as I said repeatedly, that is the culture is actually the religion of the community.
Imposing our own opinion on people is itself the hallmark of primitivity.
Let's understand the Kamba culture, cultural practices, and we ask ourselves, are they relevant today because of what is happening globally, and therefore we say, let's keep them on the side moving forward. That is what has happened. I include dressing, for example. Now we are dressing differently. We are not dressing the way we used to dress. People are not playing the drums, kidembe, and so on, because other things have come, and now we appreciate music in different contexts. So in terms of aspects of culture, I would be very careful saying that this is bad. I would simply say this may not be relevant for our culture now, so let's keep it on the side. But it is very important for our future generation to know and understand them. One of the most important things we have in this country is museums to maintain our national indigenous knowledge and technologies. The reason why we are maintaining them is not to say that we will use them in future, but for our future generation to understand that there were these systems with us.
Why they do particular things, why they would want to pour a little food before they eat, why they wouldn't leave the pot empty, so that when the spirits come, they don't find nothing in the pot. You know, if you are able to even study and document before those people leave us, those people who are practicing, and it becomes one of the things that others can study. It becomes something that a Mukamba can look at and say, I think this one, when the missionaries came, this was thrown away, but I think it shouldn't have been thrown away. They misunderstood the purpose of this. The purpose of this aspect of this culture can still be retained by Christians, by people who are in the Christian religion.
Kamba culture gives a sense of direction to 11% of the Kenyan population. So if the Kamba comprise or compose 11% of the Kenyan population, then that culture is crucially important.